Alright, here we go. Episode 14 of our Descent Legends of the Dark painting series. We're going to be painting the Specter. Super easy paint job right here. This is going to be a quick and easy, down and dirty, look good miniature to get it on the table. First, I want to thank, as always, our YouTube members. You guys help this channel tremendously with your donations, so thank you so much. You guys deserve all the respect in the world for that. If you are not a YouTube member, you want to be one, you can go on the front of the page and join. Or if you just want to subscribe, that helps out too. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and hit that bell. Without further ado, let's go. As always, we're going to scrape off those mold lines, and obviously, been watching this series. There's not a lot of them because they are fantastic miniatures. We're going to spray it in black. I'm using an airbrush, but you can use spray paint if you want. And then we're going to do a zenithal highlighting from white from above, just to give it that nice dark and light contrast look. As we've done for this entire series, we're going to start with the base, and the first thing we're going to do is some Aggaros Dunes as our dirt on our base of our miniature. And then we're going to use some Gryph-Charger Grey on the tombstone that is on the left side if you're looking at our miniature on the ground. Next, we're going to take all of our rocks on our base and paint them in black Templar, and that will be it for the base. Super easy, super simple. To make the front and back robes super easy, we're going to use a couple contrast paints. For the robes themselves, so the hood and the front portion by the legs of our miniature, we're going to use some Wyldwood. Now with the zenithal highlighting, you're going to create that natural highlight already, so we're not going to do anything else to this besides do that. This is going to make it super easy and save you a ton of time as we're closing up this series with 3 miniatures left in the entire box. For the front withered kind of robe looking thing, I don't know what they are, we're going to use some Basilicanum Grey. For our front skulls that are above our little lanterns, it almost kind of reminds me of some Kingdom Death, which was also a fantastic game with fantastic miniatures and so many combinations. We're going to use some Slaanesh Grey. For our arms that are sticking out and our feet and as much of the legs as you can get, it almost looks better if you let them kind of be dark. The closer you get to the lanterns, we're going to use some Warpfiend Grey. Now, Slaanesh Grey and Warpfiend Grey are very similar in color, so if you use the same one for both, it probably doesn't really matter. I just wanted kind of a slight different color for the two. Now for probably the most tedious part of this miniature, we're going to paint all of our little gold pieces with Balthasar Gold. Now there's a lot going on around his wrists, around the lanterns, around the little skulls, and around his neck. So make sure you get them all and take your time while doing it. Now for the inside of the lanterns, we're going to paint just dead white. I'm using Vallejo white, but whatever bright white you have, you're going to do this. We're also going to do this on our eyes. Now after you do the lanterns, we're going to use a contrast paint here in a second, but you want to draw the lines in with that Balthasar Gold of the lantern connecting. With all of our base coats, then we're going to put on a couple washes. The first being Agrax Earthshade. We're going to put this on all of our gold pieces just to dull it down a little bit. We're going to brighten it back up here in a minute. And that's going to be kind of our focal point of this miniature, is going to be the brass portion mixed with the blue in the lantern. Now we're going to use some Athermatic Blue inside of our lanterns and also on the skin of this miniature. If you look at the art provided by Fantasy Flight, you're going to notice that the skin, specifically by the hands, is a more like that Athermatic Blue color. I imagine that he is about to cast a spell against our warriors. They're about to defeat him, and he is just going to throw something really nasty at him. So we're going to put that Athermatic Blue all over his hands and a little bit lighter on his feet and on his elbows up to where his shoulders are. Now we want to make sure that the eyelids that we put in with that white, we want to put some of that Athermatic Blue in there. It's going to be kind of hard to see because the cape's draped over its face, but you can see it in the end. And for the skulls, we're just going to put on a little bit of Druchi Violet, and as you're noticing that the Athermatic Blue is drying with that white in the lanterns, you can notice that it gives a natural highlight, and that's exactly what we're looking for. It makes it super easy. As all of your colors and shades are drying, your brass should be dry from the Agrax Earthshade. So we're going to use some Gehenna's Gold. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong because I've been pronouncing it wrong forever. And we're just going to pick out the raised areas of that brass and just kind of make it look a little bit brighter. And for our skulls, we're going to use a nice little Slaanesh Grey, just to pick out some of the bridge of the nose, underneath the cheekbones, and on the forehead. And that's all we're really doing for our highlights. We don't want to overdo it. We want to do nothing crazy, and we just saved a bunch of time on these two specific miniatures. And as we've been doing for the rest of the bases in this series, we're going to use some Abaddon Black on the rim of our base. And that's it. You did it. Wasn't too hard, wasn't too crazy, and it actually looks pretty decent for a quick paint job. Just to get it on the table, just to make that gaming experience that much more awesome. So thank you for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. Thank you to the YouTube members. If you're not either, hit that subscribe button. If you really want to get back to the Nerd Knights channel and be a Nerd Knights loyal member, hit that join button. But until next time, paint on.